Are canned sardines a superfood or a health hazard? These tiny fish spark heated debates among health experts. Hit that like button if you've ever wondered whether canned sardines are good for you. Subscribe for evidence-based health content, and share this with someone curious about nutrition. Tell me in the comments whether you eat sardines and your age. I read every comment. Let's uncover what science reveals about sardines. Nutritional profile. When we examine canned sardines nutritionally, the results are remarkable. These small fish pack extraordinary nutrients into every serving, making them one of the most nutrient-dense foods available. A single 3.75-ounce can contains approximately 23 grams of high-quality protein, comparable to chicken breast or salmon, but with distinct advantages. The protein in sardines is what nutritionists call a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids that your body cannot produce on its own. This is particularly important for adults over 50, who need adequate protein to maintain muscle mass and prevent age-related muscle loss known as sarcopenia. The amino acid profile in sardines is especially rich in lysine and methionine, 2 amino acids that play crucial roles in tissue repair, immune function, and the production of important enzymes and hormones. Beyond protein, sardines are absolutely loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA, the 2 forms that provide the most significant health benefits. A single can provides approximately 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams of these essential fats, which is more than what most people consume in an entire week from other sources. These omega-3s are not just beneficial, they're essential for brain function, heart health, and reducing inflammation throughout the body. The vitamin content of sardines is equally impressive. They're one of the few food sources that naturally contain significant amounts of vitamin D, with one can providing about 40% of your daily needs. This is particularly valuable since vitamin D deficiency has become increasingly common, especially among older adults and those living in northern climates. Sardines also contain substantial amounts of vitamin B12, which is essential for nerve function and the production of red blood cells, and vitamin B6, which supports brain development and immune function. From a mineral perspective, sardines are extraordinary sources of calcium, phosphorus, and selenium. The calcium content is particularly noteworthy because it comes from the soft, edible bones of the fish, providing a highly bioavailable form that your body can easily absorb. 1 can of sardines with bones provides about 35% of your daily calcium needs, making them an excellent option for those who don't consume dairy products or need to boost their bone health. Mercury levels. Why sardines are safe. One of the most significant advantages of choosing sardines over larger fish is their remarkably low mercury content. Mercury contamination in seafood has become a legitimate health concern, as this heavy metal can accumulate in the body and cause neurological problems. However, sardines occupy a unique position in the marine food chain that makes them one of the safest fish choices available. The reason sardines contain minimal mercury relates directly to their size and position in the ocean's food web. Mercury enters the ocean through industrial pollution and natural sources, where it's absorbed by small marine organisms like plankton. Small fish eat the plankton, medium fish eat the small fish, and large predatory fish eat the medium fish. At each level, mercury concentrations become more concentrated through a process called bioaccumulation. Sardines feed primarily on plankton and small crustaceans, placing them very low on this food chain. They don't live long enough or grow large enough to accumulate significant amounts of mercury in their tissues. Studies have consistently shown that sardines contain less than 0.1 parts per million of mercury, which is well below the FDA's action level of 1.0 parts per million, and significantly lower than fish like tuna, which can contain 0.3 to 1.5 parts per million, depending on the species. This low mercury content makes sardines particularly valuable for pregnant women, nursing mothers, and young children who are advised to limit their consumption of higher mercury fish. The FDA and EPA specifically recommend sardines as one of the best choices for these vulnerable populations, allowing for 8 to 12 ounces per week without concern about mercury exposure. However, it's important to understand that the mercury levels can vary slightly depending on where the sardines were caught. Sardines from the Mediterranean, North Atlantic, and Pacific coasts all show consistently low mercury levels, but those from areas with higher industrial pollution may contain slightly more. Reputable canning companies typically source their sardines from clean waters and conduct regular testing to ensure safety. Heart health benefits. The cardiovascular benefits of consuming sardines regularly are supported by extensive scientific research spanning decades. The high concentration of omega-3 fatty acids in sardines provides multiple mechanisms for protecting and improving heart health, making them one of the most effective dietary interventions for cardiovascular wellness. Studies have consistently demonstrated that regular consumption of omega-3 rich fish like sardines can reduce the risk of heart disease by 15 to 30%. The EPA and DHA in sardines work by reducing inflammation in the blood vessels, lowering triglyceride levels, and helping to prevent the formation of dangerous blood clots. These effects combine to create a powerful protective effect against heart attacks, strokes, and other cardiovascular events. One particularly compelling study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association followed over 40,000 male health professionals for 12 years and found that those who consumed fish rich in omega-3s at least twice per week had a 52% lower risk of sudden cardiac death compared to those who rarely ate fish. The researchers specifically noted that smaller, oily fish like sardines provided the greatest protection due to their high omega-3 content and low mercury levels. The anti-inflammatory effects of sardines extend beyond just the omega-3 content. These fish also contain coenzyme Q10, a powerful antioxidant that supports heart muscle function and helps protect against oxidative stress. The combination of omega-3s and CoQ10 creates a synergistic effect that's particularly beneficial for people with existing heart conditions or those at high risk for cardiovascular disease. Sardines also provide significant amounts of potassium, a mineral that's essential for maintaining healthy blood pressure. Many people don't consume adequate potassium in their diets, leading to an imbalance with sodium that can contribute to hypertension. The potassium in sardines helps counteract the effects of excess sodium and supports proper muscle function, including the heart muscle. Research has also shown that the protein in sardines may help improve cholesterol profiles. Studies indicate that replacing some red meat or processed meat with fish like sardines can lead to improvements in both LDL cholesterol and HDL cholesterol levels. The amino acids in sardines support the production of beneficial compounds while providing satiety that can help with weight management. Another important factor in heart health: brain health benefits. The impact of sardines on brain health represents one of the most exciting areas of nutritional research. The human brain is approximately 60% fat, and the types of fats we consume directly influence brain structure and function. The omega-3 fatty acids found in sardines, particularly DHA, are essential components of brain cell membranes and play crucial roles in neurotransmitter function. DHA is especially concentrated in the brain and retina, where it's essential for proper neural development and function throughout life. Research has shown that adequate DHA intake is associated with better memory, improved learning ability, and reduced risk of cognitive decline as we age. Studies of older adults have found that those with higher blood levels of omega-3s perform better on tests of memory and executive function. One groundbreaking study published in the journal Alzheimer's and Dementia followed over 2,000 older adults for 5 years and found that those who consumed fish like sardines at least twice per week had a 41% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease compared to those who rarely ate fish. The researchers attributed this protection to the anti-inflammatory effects of omega-3s and their role in maintaining healthy brain blood flow. The B vitamins in sardines also play crucial roles in brain health. Vitamin B12 is essential for maintaining the myelin sheath that protects nerve fibers, and deficiency can lead to memory problems, confusion, and even irreversible nerve damage. Sardines provide one of the most bioavailable forms of B12, making them particularly valuable for older adults who may have difficulty absorbing this vitamin from other sources. Vitamin B6, another B vitamin abundant in sardines, is involved in the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, which regulate mood, sleep, and cognitive function. Adequate B6's intake has been associated with better mood stability and reduced risk of depression, particularly in older adults. The selenium content in sardines also contributes to brain health through its antioxidant properties. Selenium is a cofactor for glutathione peroxidase, one of the body's most important antioxidant enzymes. This enzyme helps protect brain cells from oxidative damage that can contribute to cognitive decline and neurodegenerative diseases. Bone health benefits. The bone health benefits of canned sardines are remarkable because they provide calcium in one of the most bioavailable forms found in any food. Unlike many calcium supplements that are poorly absorbed, the calcium in sardines comes from the soft, edible bones of the fish, which have been naturally processed and are easily utilized by the human body. A single can of sardines with bones provides approximately 350 to 400 milligrams of calcium, which represents about 35% of the daily recommended intake for most adults. This calcium is accompanied by phosphorus, magnesium, and vitamin D, creating an ideal combination for bone mineralization. The presence of these cofactors is crucial because calcium alone is not sufficient for optimal bone health. The vitamin D content in sardines is particularly important for calcium absorption. Without adequate vitamin D, the body can only absorb about 10 to 15% of dietary calcium. The vitamin D in sardines helps increase calcium absorption to 30 to 40%, making the calcium in these fish far more effective than calcium from sources that don't contain vitamin D. Research has consistently shown that people who consume fish with edible bones, like sardines, have higher bone mineral density and lower rates of osteoporotic fractures compared to those who rely primarily on dairy products or supplements for their calcium intake. This advantage is particularly pronounced in older adults who often have compromised calcium absorption due to reduced stomach acid production and other age-related changes. The protein content of sardines also contributes to bone health in ways that many people don't realize. Adequate protein intake is essential for maintaining bone structure, as bones are approximately 50% protein by volume. The amino acids in sardines provide the building blocks for collagen, the protein matrix that gives bones their flexibility and strength. Studies have shown that older adults who consume adequate protein along with calcium have significantly better bone health outcomes than those who focus solely on calcium intake. The combination of high-quality protein, bioavailable calcium, vitamin D, and other bone-supporting nutrients makes sardines one of the most effective foods for maintaining skeletal health as we age. Sodium content. Truth. One of the most common concerns about canned sardines is their sodium content. This is an area where it's important to separate legitimate concerns from misconceptions. Most canned sardines do contain added salt for preservation and flavor enhancement, but the actual health impact is more nuanced than many people realize. A typical can of sardines contains between 300 to 500 milligrams of sodium, which represents about 15 to 25% of the recommended daily limit for most adults. While this is certainly a significant amount, it's important to put this in context with the overall nutritional profile and compare it to other common foods. For example, a single slice of processed lunch meat often contains more sodium than an entire can of sardines without providing any of the beneficial omega-3s, protein, or other nutrients. The key consideration with sodium in sardines is the overall dietary pattern rather than the absolute amount. If sardines are replacing processed foods, fast food, or restaurant meals in your diet, they're likely reducing your overall sodium intake despite containing added salt. The high potassium content in sardines also helps counteract some of the negative effects of sodium by supporting healthy blood pressure regulation. For people with hypertension or those who need to strictly limit sodium intake, there are several strategies to enjoy sardines while minimizing sodium exposure. Many brands now offer low-sodium or no-salt-added varieties that contain 50 to 75% less sodium than regular versions. These products maintain all the nutritional benefits while addressing sodium concerns. Another approach is to rinse canned sardines before eating them, which can remove approximately 25 to 40% of the added sodium. While this also removes some of the flavor, it can be an effective compromise for those who need to limit sodium but want to enjoy the health benefits of sardines. It's also worth noting that the sodium in sardines comes primarily from sea salt, rather than the highly processed sodium compounds found in many packaged foods. Some research suggests that sodium from natural sources may have less impact on blood pressure than sodium from processed foods, though more research is needed to fully understand these differences. Choosing quality sardines. Not all canned sardines are created equal. Understanding how to choose high-quality products can significantly impact both the nutritional value and safety of your sardine consumption. The differences between various brands and types of sardines can be substantial, affecting everything from omega-3 content to potential contaminant exposure. The source of the sardines is one of the most important factors to consider. Sardines caught in clean, well-managed waters generally have higher nutritional quality and lower levels of pollutants. The best sardines typically come from the North Atlantic, particularly around Portugal, Spain, and Morocco, or from the Pacific coasts of California and Canada. These areas have sustainable fishing practices and relatively clean waters. The processing method also significantly impacts quality. Sardines that are packed fresh, meaning they're processed shortly after being caught, retain more of their nutrients and have better texture and flavor. Some sardines are frozen before processing, which can affect the texture, but doesn't significantly impact nutritional value if done properly. The packing medium is another crucial consideration. Sardines packed in olive oil often have the best flavor and texture, and the olive oil can provide additional health benefits through its monounsaturated fats and antioxidants. However, this also increases the calorie content significantly. Sardines packed in water are lower in calories and allow you to taste the fish more directly, but they can be drier and less flavorful. Some sardines are packed in vegetable oils like soybean or sunflower oil. While these are safe, they don't provide the same health benefits as olive oil and may contain higher levels of omega-6 fatty acids, which can be pro-inflammatory in large amounts. If you choose sardines in vegetable oils, it's generally best to drain them before eating. The size and preparation of the sardines also matter. Whole sardines with bones and skin intact provide the maximum nutritional benefit, including the bioavailable calcium from the bones and additional nutrients from the skin. Boneless, skinless sardines are more convenient and appealing to some people, but they provide less calcium and slightly fewer overall nutrients. Look for sardines that are wild-caught rather than farm-raised. While sardine farming is less common than other types of fish farming, wild sardines generally have better omega-3 profiles and are less likely to contain antibiotics or other additives that might be used in aquaculture. Potential risks. While sardines are generally safe and beneficial for most people, there are some potential risks and considerations that certain individuals should be aware of. Understanding these concerns can help you make informed decisions about whether and how to include sardines in your diet. People with gout or high uric acid levels should be particularly cautious with sardines, as these fish are relatively high in purines. Purines are natural compounds that break down into uric acid in the body, and excessive uric acid can trigger gout attacks in susceptible individuals. A can of sardines contains approximately 100 to 150 milligrams of purines, which is considered a moderate to high amount. However, the relationship between dietary purines and gout is complex, and recent research suggests that the overall dietary pattern may be more important than individual foods. Some studies have found that people who consume fish regularly, including sardines, may actually have lower rates of gout than those who avoid fish entirely, possibly due to the anti-inflammatory effects of omega-3 fatty acids. Individuals with fish or shellfish allergies need to exercise caution with sardines, as they can trigger allergic reactions in sensitive people. Fish allergies are typically specific to certain types of fish, so someone who's allergic to salmon might not be allergic to sardines, but cross-reactions can occur. If you have any known fish allergies, it's essential to consult with an allergist before adding sardines to your diet. The histamine content in canned sardines can also be a concern for people with histamine intolerance. Histamine is a natural compound that can build up in fish that aren't properly handled or stored, and some people have difficulty breaking down histamine in their digestive systems. This can lead to symptoms like headaches, skin flushing, nausea, or digestive upset. Choosing high-quality sardines from reputable brands and storing them properly can minimize histamine concerns. People taking blood-thinning medications like warfarin should be aware that the high omega-3 content in sardines can have mild blood-thinning effects. While this is generally beneficial for most people, it could potentially increase bleeding risk in those taking anticoagulant medications. If you're on blood thinners and want to include sardines in your diet regularly, it's wise to discuss this with your healthcare provider. Environmental impact. Sardines are among the most sustainable seafood choices, consistently rated top by the Marine Stewardship Council, Seafood Watch, and Environmental Defense Fund. Their populations are stable and recovering due to quick reproduction rates and resilient nature compared to slower-growing fish like tuna or cod. Most sardine fisheries use purse seining, which produces minimal bycatch and low environmental impact. Research shows sardines produce 90% fewer emissions than beef and 75% fewer than chicken per gram of protein, thanks to their position in the food chain and minimal processing needs. As wild-caught fish living natural lives until harvest, sardines avoid factory farming welfare concerns. Choose products with Marine Stewardship Council certification to ensure responsible sourcing that prevents overfishing and environmental damage. How to eat sardines. Start with high-quality sardines packed in olive oil for better taste and texture. Mash them into avocado spreads, mix into pasta salads, or add to omelets where other flavors complement their richness. Mediterranean preparations work best. Mix sardines with tomatoes, capers, olives and herbs for pasta sauces, or layer on toast with tomatoes and olive oil. These strong flavors complement sardines while adding health benefits. Beginners can try sardine paste or pâté, which are milder and easier to spread on crackers or mix into dips. Cooked applications like tomato sauces, rice dishes, or salads with strong dressings help mellow the fishy taste while preserving nutrition. Final verdict. Scientific evidence strongly supports regular sardine consumption for most people. Sardines provide exceptional nutrition with high-quality protein, omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D, and calcium in an affordable, convenient package. Low mercury content makes them safe for pregnant women and children. The cardiovascular benefits are significant, especially for adults over 50. Omega-3s, potassium, and quality protein support heart health through multiple research-backed mechanisms. For bone health, sardines offer bioavailable calcium plus vitamin D for proper absorption, benefiting older adults and postmenopausal women. Brain health research shows regular fish consumption reduces cognitive decline risk and supports mental function. This makes sardines valuable for those with family histories of neurodegenerative conditions. Practically, sardines are affordable, shelf-stable, and require no preparation, making them accessible regardless of budget or cooking skills. Their environmental sustainability supports both personal and planetary health. If you genuinely cannot tolerate sardines after multiple attempts, alternatives like salmon, mackerel, or anchovies provide similar benefits at higher costs. However, for most people, sardines offer exceptional nutrition, safety, and sustainability in one convenient package. The scientific evidence confirms that canned sardines represent one of the most nutritionally dense foods available. Their combination of affordability, convenience, health benefits, and environmental responsibility makes them an outstanding dietary choice for optimal health and sustainable living.